Howdy and welcome back to the channel. I am Country Boy, and today we're not talking about a single figure.
What?
But we are talking about 10 different figures that we want to see, or at least 10 different franchises that we would love to see. So let's get going and let's roll that intro. Yes, this is Whatcha Figure. Welcome back to the channel. And today, like I said, we're not opening up any figures, but we are talking about some figures that we would love to see. Some franchises that have maybe had figures in the past, and maybe they should have figures again because they were just that good. Or maybe the franchise is that good, and they should just kind of redo it and maybe make them better. So that's what I'm looking forward to talking about today, is just these 10 franchises that just near and dear to my heart, and I would love to see some figures about. Starting with number 10. So this one is number 10, and we're going to be talking about a video game franchise that is so awesome, that I've loved ever since the PlayStation first came out, or at least very soon after the first PlayStation first came out. I'm talking about Twisted Metal. I think it is a franchise that is just right for the picking, because it is similar to like Mortal Kombat, and they've had tons of figures, or like even your Street Fighters, and they've got figures coming out too. So you know what? It just makes sense. Have Twisted Metal. Have the figures, have their vehicles, maybe even have some play sets. That'd be so cool. You could get obviously Sweet Tooth with his ice cream truck, or Mr. Grimm with his motorcycle. You could have Dollface, you could have the Preacher, you could have Mr. Slam. You could have so many different characters, so many different vehicles, and they've gone through so many different iterations too. So you could have like the very first game, you could have the second game, third game, all the different games that they've had out and they've even got the TV show. I didn't even talk about the TV show that came out, so they could have even that version of characters. So there's just so many things you could do with this franchise, and I think it would be perfect for some figures. And now at number 9, I'm going to talk about a comic book franchise that is, maybe not quite your Spider-Mans or your Batmans. It's not quite about superheroes or anything like that, but it's something that a lot of people grew up reading. Maybe you just read it, every once in a while, or you read it all the time. You got your Archie Comics. That's what I'm talking about. Archie, you got your Jughead, you got your Betty, Veronica, Reggie's. You got so many different characters, and I'm really surprised that there aren't some figures for these guys. Maybe there were at some point. I don't know who made them, but I'm not seeing them in the present day right now, and I'm kind of surprised because it's kind of like your Scooby-Doo sort of thing. Like, they've been around for so long. There's been different versions of them throughout the years. And, similar to Scooby-Doo, I don't see a lot of stuff going with them as well. A lot of the Hanna-Barbera stuff, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Archie Comics. And yes, there has been like the Riverdale TV show, which I didn't like. It wasn't for me. Not my type of thing. But the Archie Comics, I did read as a kid and as an adolescent. Growing up, I would read these things. And some of them weren't so good, but some of them were fun to read. So I'm just surprised they haven't really tapped into that. And it's a franchise that I think is just perfect for making. And here at number 8, we're going to talk about a Saturday morning cartoon. And unlike nowadays where cartoons are everywhere, you could watch them on Netflix or on Disney Plus or on Prime or whatever you have, you could just stream everything. You had to wait on Saturday mornings to watch your favorite shows. And one of my favorite shows was definitely Inspector Gadget growing up. I loved all the different gadgets and gizmos that he had. And he was just a buffoon, the character. But he had so many different characters in that show, and all the different things that you could do with Inspector Gadget. You could have so many different attachments if you made a figure of him. Have like the elongated arms and legs, have the roller skate boots, put the helicopter hat on there. You have like the laser pistols or laser finger, I should say, or like I think it's a water gun pistol that came out of his finger. All the different attachments that Inspector Gadget had would be just awesome for an action figure. And who knows, they might have done this. I don't know. I'm not aware of it if they have. But maybe someone maybe a little more prominent should make it and bring it to the forefront, because I think it's an awesome idea. Even if they don't do the rest of the characters, like if they don't do the Penny or the Brain or the Chief, or even the bad guys with like the whole Mad Cat bad guys with, Dr. Claw and all of his goons, you could have all those. That'd be awesome too. But I mean, if you just stick to Inspector Gadget, that would totally work too. And his car that like transformed and stuff, really cool. That would be a perfect toy. And at number 7, kind of keeping with the Saturday morning theme here, we're going to go with Saturday afternoon. So we're talking about Disney afternoon. And this is a more open, broad one that I'm talking about. So you can do everything Disney afternoon. So like, I am collecting the Gargoyles from NECA, and I freaking love that franchise. I love the cartoon, and I love the toys. They're doing such an awesome job. But I would love a designated company to actually work on all the Disney properties. Like get your Chippendale Rescue Rangers, get your DuckTales, get your Darkwing Duck, get your Tailspins in there. Gummy Bears. There's so many different cartoons that were in the 80s and 90s that I would love. I would love to have these as figures. Nobody's really tapping into that, I don't think. I mean, there has been some Darkwing Ducks out there. I think Diamond Select has done it and Beast Kingdom has done it. And I'm sure they've had toys back in the day, like even like McDonald's toys back in the day for the other TV shows. But I would love a designated company like Hasbro or Mattel to just work on the Disney Afternoon license. And I think it would be really awesome. You would get a lot of people buying this stuff up. So for me, that would be an easy buy. No problem. And now moving on to number 6, we got a franchise that I freaking loved watching. I mean, there's only like a couple episodes out there, but I had a VHS tape that had a few episodes on it, and I watched the heck out of it. I'm talking about Dino-Riders, and it even had the commercials for the toys in between.
Take this, lizard lips.
I'll be back, Questa.
The battle is over, but the action's just beginning with the complete Dino-Riders collection.
Dino-Riders.
So you couldn't even avoid the commercials. But I wanted those toys because I watched the freaking show so much. All those Tycho toys, the dinosaurs with the different armor and the weapons and laser guns and the bad guys and the good guys. Just an awesome TV show. What an awesome concept. You got your outer space, or you got your sci-fi, plus you got your dinosaurs. Just so cool. What a great idea. Why didn't it last longer? I don't understand. And who has the license? I hear Mattel bought Tycho back in the day. But why aren't they doing something with that? Like, what's going on? That, at least for my money, that would be awesome. I would love to own all the classic Dino Rider stuff, but I can't afford it because that stuff is not cheap. It is pricey stuff. Rightfully so. It was pretty cool toys, and there's a lot of little pieces and stuff that went with it. But please, if somebody has the license like Mattel, please make these toys. You already have the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World license. Just put some armor on there. Put some laser guns on there. You already got it. Just do that. Toss some couple little action figures. Doesn't cost you much, right? Just do that. People will love it. Anyways, that's it. Dino Riders. I want to see Dino Riders. And here at number 5 is a franchise that is very awesome, and it has had another kind of reawakening in the last few years. I'm talking about Planet of the Apes. I'm talking about the more recent Planet of the Apes too. Like, yes, they've obviously had the 1960s, 70s movies that had their own feel to it. Can't say anything about them. I don't love them. I don't really hate them. They're not really for me. They're of their time. And then there was the Mark Wahlberg one, which nobody really likes. I love the costumes. Those costumes are freaking awesome. Don't go wrong there. But I'm talking about the more modern ones with Caesar, and then the new one with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Awesome movies. Love those to death. Those are awesome movies. I would love if they would kind of do some updated figures. I do think that NECA did do some figures for these a few years back, but I know they don't have a very good track record of older figures. I mean, I've seen personally figures from like before the 2020s. They break. So I would like some maybe new updated versions of these characters. I would love a Caesar, a Maurice, a Buck. I would love a Koba. Oh, gotta get a Koba for sure. So many different characters you could have in there. You got your orangutans, your chimps, and you got your gorillas. So cool. That's for me, maybe personally. I don't know if anybody else out there wants it. But hey, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes just came out this year, and nobody did anything with it. So get on that, whoever has the license. And now moving to number 4, we have another movie license that I know they've made figures of back in the 80s, maybe even the 90s as well too. But I'm talking about Who Framed Roger Rabbit, one of my favorite all-time movies of all time. Where there's just so many characters in that. I mean, there's obviously your Disney characters, you got your Looney Tunes characters, and then you got your others that aren't connected to those as well, like your Betty Boops and whatnot. But I mean, there's also like your human characters. Like you got your Bob Hoskins' character, or you got Christopher Lee's character, and you got other like Bard patrons and stuff like that you could totally throw in there as well too. But I'm talking about like, why aren't they making more from this franchise? I know that Super 7 recently had, for their reactions, they had a line for them as well too, but I know that they've also recently lost the Disney license, so I don't think they're making any more. But I don't want really the reaction ones. I want more articulated ones, bigger, cool, awesome looking ones. That's what I'm looking for. I would love me like a bigger Roger Rabbit, like maybe 6 or 7 inches tall. Get myself Even like the cab. Oh man, have the taxi cab, have myself a Jessica Rabbit. That'd be so cool. I would love all of these characters from this movie. Just get on. You know, I would also love a sequel to this movie, but that's probably never going to happen. I think we had kind of a semi sequel, not really, with the Chip and Dale's movie. It wasn't quite what I was looking for, but it was decent. It was decent. But yeah, get on to that, guys. I want some Roger Rabbit stuff. And now at number 3, this next one, this is kind of what inspired this whole list, actually. It's because I was on YouTube, and Nerdmazing, a guy that I follow, he's really good. He's got some really awesome stuff. Go ahead and check him out. He posts a lot of pictures of different action figures that he just kind of sees out in the wild. And one of these ones was The Wizard of Oz. It was, I think it was Todd McFarlane had made these crazy World of Oz ones. I forget what it's called. Like World of Oz. It might be called that. I'm not sure. But it was like almost like a dominatrix, dark, grotesque looking characters out of the ones that we know from The Wizard of Oz. I would love maybe a not so dark demonic version of these characters, but an actually like movie version of these characters from somebody. I don't know who owns the license, but you know, maybe make some movie versions of Dorothy and, you know, Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Lion, the witches, the flying monkeys, all those guys. That would be so cool. And even if you don't want to stick to the movie, maybe you can kind of do your own thing. Go by the book and kind of change things to how you see fit. Like, I would be really interested to see different versions of this whimsical world. It's such a ripe, just world to do things with. Like, you got the Wizard of Oz, and there's different places you could have. Like, you could have the whole, like the Yellow Brick Road. You could have the Emerald City, maybe not the whole city, but maybe have some backdrops with the city. Just really cool and very colorful you could have for a play setup in your own house. I think it'd be a really good, awesome idea, and I would look forward to seeing that. Here we are at number 2. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. And I'm talking about a franchise that is definitely my favorite television show of all time. And if you know me at all, then you know I'm talking about Breaking Bad. There's a bunch of characters, and there's a bunch of different versions of these characters that you could have. Like, you could have Walter White, you know, like right at the beginning of the series where he's still got his full head of hair and doesn't have the mustache, or he has the mustache but no goatee. Or you can have him with his underwear. You can have him totally with his hazmat suit on when they're making the meth. And then Jesse Pinkman, same thing. They kind of evolve throughout the series, all these characters. So you can have different versions of these characters. Have a Hank, get yourself a Gus Fring. Absolutely awesome characters on this show. Even Skyler, Walter Jr., Saul. I mean, they got Better Call Saul. They had a whole series of that show that came out as well too. And I don't think they made any figures for that show. I think they did make figures for Breaking Bad, but I don't know if they were quite action figures. I think they were just kind of like very minimal posable. They might have been just like staction figures. Staction figures are a blend between statues and action figures. They're highly detailed, but they have very limited articulation. Not very movable. They might have made some movable ones. I'm not quite aware of them. If there are, I would like maybe newer versions, like more updated versions. Like if NECA could tackle it right now, that would be awesome. That'd probably be my ideal, is NECA to jump in with that. But there's other companies out there that could totally do it too. I know they could do it. I just think that NECA would definitely knock it out of the park. But it doesn't have to be them. Anybody. Just do an awesome version of Breaking Bad figures. And yes, I know there are also the reaction figures too, but I'm not touching reaction right now. Reaction is its own thing. I do like reaction figures for their own thing. But I'm talking about actual fully articulated and just very detailed looking figures. Breaking Bad is where my heart is at when it comes to TV shows. So bring me some of that awesomeness.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah! Yes! Yes!
All right, there's only one left. And if you made it this far, then if you wouldn't mind, hit that like, hit that subscribe. I am CountryBoy9, or also known as CountryBoyNiner, on Twitter, Twitch, on Instagram, on YouTube, as you can see. Go ahead and check me out all these different places. I'm also on another channel with my friends called Wasted Opinions. We have a blast making videos. We talk about random stuff all the time. Video games, movies, TV shows, what have you, and the like. Go ahead and check us out and subscribe to them as well too. So next, we're going to be talking about the number 1 pick. Okay, here we are. It is the last one to go. And I'm talking about a franchise that is just awesome. In my books, it's just as good as the Ghostbusters franchise, which I know they have made figures for Ghostbusters throughout, and they've had the real Ghostbusters TV show and all that stuff. So they've done lots of Ghostbusters stuff. Not as much as people would like. They still could do a lot of ghosts and stuff like that. But I'm not talking about Ghostbusters. I'm talking about kind of a similar franchise to Ghostbusters, kind of adjacent, I would say. Men in Black. It's, oh my goodness. What an awesome idea for a movie. And they did have a TV show too. So they might have had some figures back in the day with the TV show. And, honestly, that TV show was, I think, even better than people give it credit for too. Check it out. It's really pretty awesome. At least even watch the intro. The intro itself is really cool. But I would love to get figures from the movie, mostly the movies, maybe some from the TV show as well too. I know that the new spin-off movie with Chris Hemsworth and Thompson, I forget her name, wasn't as good. It was definitely weaker than the last three that were before it, but it's still just an awesome, great idea for a TV show and a movie. Just having aliens. You could put how many different aliens in your display case, and you really only need one or two of the agents. You've got Agent K and Agent J. If you want, you can spread out, have Agent Z and have Agent O, I guess, as well too. Different agents throughout the series, but you know what? It's just there's such cool guns you can have. Even the car you can have that flies and whatnot. Just awesome. I don't know why this isn't a franchise that people are tapping into for action figures. Who owns the franchise? Who owns the figure franchise? I don't understand. Like Ghostbusters, I know they're only getting a little bit of stuff themselves, but why isn't like Men in Black getting any love? I don't get it. I freaking love this franchise so much. How many times can I say franchise? I love Men in Black, period. So please, just give me some Men in Black love. I would love anything from them. Just get me some of the aliens. Even if it's just like Fred from the beginning of the first movie. Or, we get like the little worm dudes that speak Jabba the Hutt's language.
Wanga! Wanga!
How you doing, fellas?
Okay.
That's not decaf, is it?
Viennese cinnamon.
Just such cool. Or Frank, the little dog Frank. Dude, I'm all over that. Just give me some of that stuff. I would love it. Anywho, that's going to do it for my top 10 franchises that I would love to see in toy form. What did you think? Go ahead and leave me some descriptions down below. What you think would be awesome figures that you want to see as well. I don't know what else to put on. There's just so many different things I could have said. I have some, maybe some honorable mentions I could throw in there, like Game of Thrones and whatnot. But you know what? Maybe I'm going to do another list some other time. So that's going to be it for now. I hope you liked it. I am Country Boy, and I put the sass in Sarsaparilla. But as always, be sure to let me know what you figure.